What's up? This is going to be a commentary over my recording of Spires of Ascension. I'm assuming if you click on this video, you're interested in hunters or BM hunters. I'm just going to be going over my decision making, why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, and just trying to help you guys out in any way I can. So yeah, see ya.
So for this first pull here, I always target the Mender. You always want to make sure to interrupt his heal. You never want that to get off, and if it does, you want to make sure you immediately trank it. Other than that, you also want to be tranking his Empower weapon just to mitigate the damages a little bit for the tank. Other than that, this first section of Spires of Ascension is pretty simple. For the Goliath, you want to make sure you're interrupting the Rebellious Fist as much as possible, and if you think it is going to be getting off, I would turtle it, or if you have a spirit beast, I would use survival of the fittest, or a tank pet, you want to use survival of the fittest. But other than that, you always want to make sure to be targeting these Menders here, and if the Mender dies, then just interrupt the flying chick's cast. I don't remember their names or the names of the abilities that they throw off, but you make sure to interrupt that just to help mitigate any damage that's going out. Now, after this first section here, after you go to the lady and you fly over, this week, and it really depends on your tank and what he wants to do. Some tanks want to just cleave it all down, but others want you to CC the Mender. In this case, the tank wants me to CC the Mender, so we do that, and then we all LOS it, and burn everything down. But again, you want to make sure you are interrupting the Goliath. If he does pull everything together, you want to also make sure to interrupt the Mender and trank his empowered weapon. But in this case, that doesn't happen. He just pulls the Mender in with the Pride, and we just AoE to that all down. So this next fight here isn't too complicated. I always target the bird. You just want to make sure you avoid standing in between the bird and the chick, because there is a line, and if you stand in that line, you will be ticked down. Your health bar will be ticked down. So don't stand in between them. And then avoid the bird's frontals. And if for whatever reason you're standing by the chick, she also does a frontal. So I would just, if you're melee, if you're a survival hunter, you want to be, if you're smacking her down, you want to be behind her. But I always target the bird anyways, so just avoid his frontal. It's a lot less scarier that way because it's very simple, and just burn it down. That's all there is to it, really. Oh, also, if you get a blue arrow above your head, that means you're getting targeted by the spear. You can't pre-move it, so just wait for it to hit you and then move. But that's about it. Burn it down. So what the tank's doing here is he's getting extra percentage so we could do a small skip before the third boss, and also so we'd have prides in the right spot for the last boss. But as a hunter, you could just be nice and throw it on a flare. It really doesn't matter. If your tank's getting mad at you for not throwing down the flare, he's just stupid. It really doesn't matter. You know, he's just gonna get stunned. Like, it's no biggie. But we go right here, we get all these cats over here, we get the one caster in the back over there. So here the tank has this LOS. Now, I personally think that's stupid and it really just wastes time, because if the tank knows what he's doing, he can just walk up to them, make sure that their backs are to the wall that they are standing by, and then they will lunge backwards into the wall. So him having this LOS here is really just wasting our time. But it's what we end up doing, and we just cleave it all down. But that's just one tip. If your tank tells you to LOS here, just tell them he's stupid, and then make sure that their back is facing the wall, because it's just a stupid way to waste time. So for this next pull here, you want to be targeting the leader. She should be the one to die first, because one of her passive abilities is she, I believe, causes reduced AoE damage or like cleave damage to all the party members near her in like a certain distance or whatever. So basically, you want to be killing her first, because she's going to be causing reduced damage to the other people around there if they're doing AoEs. So that's why I always target her first. You want to be interrupting the Mender and obviously tranking him whenever he empowers his weapon. So that's about it for that one. So this next pull could be a bit scary if you don't have a lot of interrupts in your group, because a lot of damage will be thrown out by these little birds, whatever you want to call them, fucking eels, dude. I don't know, but you just want to be careful. You want to make sure you have your personals ready, your defensives ready, because you could die here if shit's not stunned. Other than that, this next pull you want to be targeting the leader again, just because she does cause that reduced AoE damage. And then after you're done with that pack, there are going to be cats, basically, up to where the spear is, down to where you would normally talk to the lady to fly. You could throw down a flare in that general area, and maybe you'll be lucky and you'll pop them out, and that's just something you do as a hunter to be a little useful. So for this next pack here, if you see where this bird dude is, basically there's going to be a bunch of cats that's following him in a line. If you throw your flare on him or near him, you will pop them out, and that's just a little bit a use that you can do. Now after this, there's going to be basically, again, those fucking eel things, you know, those shits that killed me earlier. You want to be interrupting those, and obviously, above all else, you want to be interrupting the Goliath's Rebellious Fists if your tank does decide to pull that. Now, after that, what should typically happen is there's going to be a pack of 3, a Mender, one of those fucking flying chicks that throw the spears, and then the leader. You want to be targeting the leader and killing her first, because she caused reduced damage to everything around her. Now, at the same time, you want to make sure that you are interrupting the heal, and if it does get off, trank it immediately, along with tranking the empowered weapon by the Mender. So yeah, that's that area.
Starters, one out of a million marine shows heights. Always gonna feel that I won't deny that work. Never could toss. Look at my eyes, I'm on the rocks, guys. motion. A couple milli now, I'm causing a commotion. I've been coasting, hear my name around the world like an explosion.
Rise up, rise up. We are the apocalypse, and a path that keeps us floating. As we fly above the stars, the hype won't scare us falling. So rise up, rise too great to be landed.
So here, hopefully you guys have a Kyrian and you're able to spear this pack, because it is one of the harder packs in this dungeon. But basically what ends up happening here is we use spear and we AoE everything down. Now if you guys don't have spear, you're going to have a hell of a time because Cats does a lot of damage, the eel does a lot of damage, there's a mender you need to be interrupting, there's also a leader that causes reduced damage, there's also a bird guy that's flinging shit everywhere, and I believe a spear lady, so there's all of them here basically. Now hopefully you guys do have spear and you're able to do that and just AoE it all down. It's a little bit less stressful on everyone, but yeah, just cleave everything down. I pop my cooldowns here personally just because it is a hard pull.
Try your luck and take a chance. Before the risks in this moment, take my hand and break my heart. I'll never walk this road again. Stumbling steps grow to a dance where things change forever. There's no regrets, only the past. Will I change? Never. So swing me around, take me down. You won't break me, I'm too strong. Keep saying it wrong, I'll play along, but I will never be a victim. So swing me around, take me down. You won't break me, I'm too strong. Keep saying it wrong, I'll play along, but I will never be a victim.
So for this fight here, there's a couple things you want to worry about. If the tank ever dashes to you and he applies your bleed, if you have a tank pet or a spirit beast, you want to be making sure you use your survival of the fittest ability just so you take reduced damage. Now at the same time, you also want to be avoiding his blue frontal that he casts out every now and again. If you do get hit by that, you will be CC'd and you will just be running around in circles blinded basically. And it's really bad because every time he dashes, he's going to be placing down these orbs everywhere, his fucking cum everywhere, and it's at first going to just shoot out in a circular motion. I don't know if it's clockwise, fucking the other way around, but anyways, it's going to be going out in a circular motion. You want to make sure you avoid that. What I always do is if I see it, I will just go to the left of it, because if you, or the opposite direction of the circular motion that it's going in. Now, when he starts to recharge his anima, they're all going to be spewing out like a shotgun, and I would prioritize not getting hit over DPS in that situation because a lot of people could die in those spots. So for this next mob here, there's nothing really special. If you're gonna die for whatever reason, the healer's AFK. You want to use your self heal, you don't use your personal defenses, whatever, whatnot, because he does do an AoE. But in some situations we skip this because, like I said earlier, right after the first boss, we did those extra pulls for percentage. Depending on how much the tank pulls, you could skip all of these mobs here, all the way up to the third boss. So you want to watch out for that. And if your tank asks to, either potion or invis pot or just walk around it, and if people are fucking smart about it, you can actually skip all of this. But yeah, we don't end up doing that. We kill this guy and then we skip everything. But yeah, that's that.
Don't do that.
kind of fuck up here. I didn't know if he was wanting us to invis all the way up to the boss, or if he wanted just to invis past this pack. I was very confused when he typed that, and I was hesitant to ice trap it, so I thought, okay, I'm just going to camo past it. Don't try to camo past it if he's going to try to skip that, because I got pulled out of stealth. The only... as a hunter, I'm pretty sure our invis is weaker than a rogue's invis or a druid's invis. I'm pretty sure you're able to get detected more easily, so if you are going to invis past this, I would pop an invis pot. Now, be wary, because if your tank asks for a CC, I would ask him if we're going to pull this ahead of time, because if you ice trap it, you will be pulled into combat, and, you know, you'll be all fine and dandy thinking that you skipped all this, and then later when you're fighting the boss, the Goliath, and the fucking Mender, and this spear chick is just going to come running at you, because throwing an ice trap puts you in aggro. So I kind of fuck up here, but it works out in the end, and we end up skipping all the way up to the third boss. So I didn't really play this fight properly and like to the maximum efficiency that I could. You really want to be saving your cooldowns until he recharges his anima, because that's when he's most vulnerable and he'll take a lot more damage than he would otherwise. But I don't really give a fuck here, so I just go ham and pop my aggros at the beginning. There are a couple things you're going to be wanting to look out for. First of all, don't be standing in front of him, because he will do a stomp, and it hurts a lot. Only the tank should really be taking that. So if you're going to be meleeing him, if you're survival, slap him from behind, because he does a frontal. Now he also is going to be throwing out this discharge, this little circle on people. Now if it comes on your teammate, you just walk out of it real quick. If it comes on you, you know, you could use the defensive. I would not recommend using your turtle unless you're going to die. I would always use your heal first, because what you could do is, if you don't have a paladin, or if you have a squishy tank, or if you're just trying to be nice in general, you can turtle all of the orbs when he tries to recharge his anima and just soak all this up. Now in this case, he doesn't do that, and you really shouldn't have to be doing that, because it's more worthwhile for the DPS to be hitting him while he's recharging, and to lose a DPS to do that, it's like kind of wasting time, because he's not going to die as quickly. But in this case, I continue to DPS him instead of turtling and getting all the orbs, but I'm just saying that is an option. And we have, it's in between, I think it's 87.5 and 88% that you have to be able to go up. We already have 89% because of that pack where I accidentally aggroed, so we just go up. But yeah, that's that. So, because one of the affixes this week is fortified, this third angel is going to be a lot scarier than the boss, and so what we end up doing is we end up heroing, and also you want to be saving your cooldowns for that third angel as well, because she really can wipe a group if she doesn't die quickly enough. And If you have a Curain, you also want to be spearing her as well, because, you know, she does do a lot of damage. Now, like I said, you pop your cooldowns. We lusted here because it is fortified. Now, if it was tyrannical where the bosses have more HP, you would not do that. But because it is fortified, that's what we end up doing. The order of the angels kind of matters, but every other tank does it differently. Technically, there is, like, if you want to have maximum efficiency and, like, ease throughout the entire fight, you could go left to right, and that's, like, the easiest. But because every time an angel dies, they each have their own ability, and when one dies, they transfer to the other. So the third angel ends up having all three of the abilities that the angels have. One throws a spear, one has an AoE, and I think one's a frontal. But yeah, that's that. And then here, for the boss, basically, there's a couple things you'll be watching out for again. She's going to be charging someone randomly. Now, you don't want to get hit by that. That can one-shot you on really high-end keys. Now, also, there's going to be a circle that is placed randomly, like a big blue circle that's placed randomly throughout the fight. You want to, if you're ranged, you want to be standing in that, because eventually she's going to be casting, I forget what it's called, but she could be casting ability where if you're not in that circle, you are going to get one shot and you will die. Now, also periodically through the fight, she is going, I don't know the name of the spell, but basically she casts, you're going to get a circle under your foot. I believe it can be dispelled, but I would recommend not going into the blue circle until that little gray circle is gone, just because it is kind of annoying if you don't have a lot of room already, if like someone else already placed on a circle. So yeah, I would just make sure to drop that outside of the blue circle, and obviously go back into the blue circle so you don't get one shot beforehand, before the cast goes off. But that's pretty much the first phase, and it happens in all three phases. But in the first phase, that happens, and then once you get it, either you're going to phase her because of DPS, or she's going to go because of the time, like you don't have enough DPS. But eventually, she is going to put her spear into this little, I don't know what you want to call it, but basically she puts her spear in, she flies away, and she's not targetable anymore. You want to get these orbs and bring them to the spear so that you can eventually use the spear to throw her down. Now, after that point, if you didn't lust the third angel, you would want to lust then, but it's pretty much rinse and repeat after that, after you successfully land the spear. Now, if you don't land the spear, it's definitely a 100% wipe. Unless you have a really good healer or it's a very low key, you're not really going to live if you miss the spear. It's going to be a wipe. So that's that. Just before this video ends, I want to say thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you know, I appreciate you. Leave a comment down below if there's anything you want to see me improve upon. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to make an entire series over all of the current Mythic pluses, or not, I guess Mythic pluses, but just the dungeons in general. I always do them on Mythic. But yeah, see ya.
What does love feel like? What does love feel like? You're the best I ever had. You're the best I ever had. Best I ever had. You're the best I ever had. Best I ever had. You're the best I ever had. You make my heart beat super fast.
You make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. You make my heart beat super fast. You make my heart beat super fast.